All right. I thought I would spend a little time helping you guys with your homework or just kind of scrolling through the homework and giving you pointers by question just to make your life easier. There are obviously resources in Connect, but I figured I would just give it a shot. All right. So, how do we get to our homework? If you haven't used Connect before, we're going to want to go to this tab in Canvas, click on McGraw Hill. It's going to take you to this page. And then we're just going to click connect. And then I'm just going to do the first homework assignment for us. Chapter 1, due February 23rd. And then I'm just going to see what it looks like for you. Student assignment view. This is it. I have what, 12 questions or so? 3 attempts. So before I even get started, um, just thought I would point out that if you're attempting a question and you're having difficult understanding it because I obviously don't explain things well, you can try the ebook, right? This link will take you to the ebook. You can ask for a hint. The hint will play you, you know, a video if you wanted that. Um, And how do I get rid of the video? I have no idea. We could print the question. There's all sorts of different things available to us. But for this particular question, it's simply asking us use the accounting equation to solve for the missing information. So I'm just going to do A. If I have 830,000 in assets, and I know from the lectures or the book or whatever that the combination of liabilities and equities equals assets, then I think, whoops, sorry. Then I think I know, hey, I got rid of that's so ridiculous. Then I think I know that I could subtract equity from assets to back into liabilities. So, what would be total assets of 830,000 minus equity of 485,000? I don't know how to do that math in my head. Um, and I don't even think I need to. But just to be clear, 830 minus 485, that's going to be 345,000. So I would just literally type in 345,000 right here. And then I could do the same thing for B, right? So total assets of Martin Marine equals 630, and its liabilities and equities amounts are equal to each other. What is the amount? Come on. We would just divide 630 by 2. All right, I'm moving on. Use the accounting equation to compute the missing financial statement amounts. Okay. Um, this looks like the same exact question. Should I even do it? Oh, I could do this requirement too. All right, requirement 2 looks a little bit more complicated, and I'm glad I clicked on this. So now we know assets equal the combination of liabilities plus equity. And in this particular question, at least the first one, they're asking us to derive revenue. Okay? And so I think what I would do is I would start by figuring out what equity is first. And so I know that assets, in fact, maybe I'll just abbreviate. Bear with me. All right, never. Assets equal liability plus equity. And then I know equity has 2 buckets, capital and retained earnings. All right. In this particular example, assets are 44,000. Liabilities are 17,000. And then common stock or capital is 22,000. So the first thing I think I would do is I would just try to figure out what is my retained earnings, right? If I know assets are 44, liabilities are 17, and capital is 22, then I know my retained earnings would be 44 minus 17,000 minus 22,000. Then I think my retained earnings must be 5,000. And then I know I have a beginning balance, then I have revenue, then I have expenses, revenue increases, expenses decrease, and dividends decrease. So now I can go back to the question. I have no dividends, and my expense, I have no beginning balance either. Maybe I can fill those in. Beginning balance is 0, and then dividends are 0. And then I think we're trying to find revenue, and expenses are 9,000. Expenses are 9,000. So some positive number minus 9,000 has to equal 5,000. And I'm thinking that would be 16,000. So I would go and I would type in 16,000 in revenue. That's the way I would approach it. And I would do the same thing for the other. Moving on. Question 3. Definitely not doing this. If you can't do this by now, I don't know. Question 4. At the beginning of the year, they have 3 different scenarios, right? So this is slightly different. At the beginning of the year, Addison Company had assets of 179,000 and its equity was 134. Okay. Maybe I could just sketch that real fast. I'm thinking this question is basically saying, hey, at the beginning of the year, we have assets of 179. And then we know that equals liabilities plus equity. And it says that our equity is 134,250. Therefore, we can back into liabilities by subtracting subtracting equity from assets. So what is 179 minus 134,250? That's 44,750. Then the question is saying that during the year, right? So this would be the beginning balance of all of these amounts. Then during the year, assets increased by 80,000, and then liabilities increased by 44,000. Therefore, what is equity? I think first, right, we would find the change in equity, right? Because they still have to equal. The change also has to equal assets equals liabilities and equities. Then we can add everything up. And that should be the way I would approach question, was that 4? Yeah. I'm moving on. Question 5. The following transactions were completed by the company. Okay, this is the question that you really want to walk away with, okay? The previous 4 questions, in fact, I think I might stop the recording right now. Yeah.